Hi there, guys. Well, welcome back. We're going to do some multiplying out of double brackets where the questions get slightly more complicated. So in these questions, which come from the Corbett Maths exercise again, we've got coefficients of x here which are not 1. What I mean by that is we have things like 2x and 5x inside the brackets here. Again, obviously you could have y as well. We're also going to do a question where you have a single set of brackets with a squared on the outside. We are not going to look at 3 sets of brackets in this video, but we will also look at a question in context. So here's a question in context, which is talking about the area of a rectangle. We might look at the perimeter as well. Now this comes from Corbett Maths, and so Corbett Maths provide excellent sets of exam-style questions, and they provide full working out and other videos as well. Okay, I'm producing this for my students, but yeah, they do great videos too. Okay, let's have a look at question 6 then. So question 6, I just copied over here. So we've got here 3x minus 2 times by 2x plus 3. And again, we're going to put in our 4 lines. So we've got 3x times by 2x, and then we've got 3x times by 3, and let's just change that color. So we've got minus 2 times by 2x and minus 2 times by 3. So the minus goes with the number that follows it. Okay, so if we do now 3x times by 2x, that's the first of the red lines, we're going to get 3 times 2, which is 6, and x times x, which is x squared. The second of our red lines there is 3x times by 3. That gives us 9x. 3x times by 3 is 9x. And then you've got minus 2 times by 2x. So minus 2 times 2 is minus 4. You can follow it up with an x. And then we've got minus 2 times by 3, which gives us minus 6 there. Okay, well, as with the previous questions, we can combine the 2 middle terms, and here we've got 6x squared, and 9x take away 4x is the same as doing 9 take away 4, which is plus 5x, and then we've got our minus 6 there. Now, in this question, you will notice that, or you can notice that if you added together, so your 2 numbers at the end, it doesn't give you the number in the middle. Okay, and that worked when we had no number in front of x, or in other words, 1 in front of x in the previous questions, but it doesn't work here. So in this case, you need to rely on the FOIL method. Now, when we're doing this FOIL method, we're talking about first times the first, the outers times the outers, the inners times the inners, and the last times by the last. You need to rely on the FOIL method here. You can't just add together the 2 numbers at the end to get this number here. The number at the end, though, the number at the end of your final answer is the 2 numbers at the end still times together. But to be honest, with this question, I would always use the FOIL method, find my 4 terms, and then simplify it. So if you found any kind of tricks that were working before, they might not work now that the question is more complicated. Okay, right, so that's that one done. I just didn't mention this before. Okay, there's some people do slightly different things. Okay, I probably should have mentioned this in a previous video, but some people like to think of this in terms of like 2 eyebrows, a nose, and a mouth. So like some sort of character instead. So you've still got your firsts and your outers and your insides and your last. They're just kind of slightly different order. And also what I didn't mention before, which you can also do, which some people do, is this. Do 3x take away 2, and then 2x plus 3. And then they do their timesing out in a grid too, which is also really good, okay? So that's also a really nice method. 9x and minus 6. And then you can add kind of along your diagonals. So we've got 6x squared. We've got 9 minus 4x. 9x minus 4x is plus 5x. And then we've got the minus 6 in the end as well. Similar thing. Okay, anyway, being boring. Classic. Okay, right. So let's look at the next one. So I said I was going to look at example 8, and example 8 is x minus 7 all squared. So let's just copy this one across. So we've got x minus 7 all squared. Okay, so for this one, when we have something like 5 times 5, that's the same as 5 squared, but here we have x minus 7 squared. So that's x minus 7 in the first set of brackets, and times by x minus 7 in the second set of brackets. It's the same thing times by itself. So it's important that you show that you understand that this is really still 2 sets of brackets, right? And then once you've got that, you can do the normal thing. X times by x, x squared. X times by minus 7, minus 7x. Minus 7 times by x, minus 7x. And minus 7 times by minus 7, plus 49. Add together those two middle terms. Minus 7, take away 7, minus 14. And we've got plus 49 on the end there as well. Okay, so that one was actually relatively simple. You just need to know that it's a set of double brackets that we're timesing out, in fact. Okay, and for the last of the questions I'm going to do here, I'm going to do this question in context. So we've got a worded question, a bit of problem solving here. So a rectangle is shown below. We've got x plus 9 and x minus 1. Okay, so I don't really know how long x is, but you know, like you could have something like this as a question. Have like x plus 1 and then x plus 2 as our lengths here. And that could give you like 4 areas. Okay, x times by x, 1 times by x is x, 2 times by x, it's x as well, so 2 times by x is 2x, and 1 times by 2 is this 2 here. So this is working in a similar way to multiplying 2 sets of brackets. Just a bit harder to see when they're involving a minus here as well. Because I don't know how to draw x minus 1 easily. I have to do x and then minus 1, and I'm not adding together areas. Okay, so on this one then, we're still going to do the same thing. We're going to do x plus 9 and x minus 1. If you want to just practice that one and pause the video, then fine. Let's do it. X times by x is x squared. X times by minus 1 is minus x. 9 times by x is plus 9x. And 9 times by minus 1 is minus 9. Combine the two middle terms, we're getting x squared plus 8x. It's easier to do the 9x, take away x, rather than x plus the 9x. Then we've got the minus 9 there on the end as well. So that's the final question. And it only asks us to work out the expression for the area of the rectangle. So done. That's an expression. Later on, you might find out that they say, okay, well, maybe this is equal to 100. Now solve this quadratic equation. So they're not asking for that here, but this is an expression. And because it has an x squared in there, we call it a quadratic expression. Okay, quad for 4, like a quad bike. Okay, so quad like a square. Okay, yeah, so like squared. Okay, so quadratic expression is because of the x squared in there. Okay, guys, I'm kind of going on a bit now, so I'll stop here. Thanks for listening in, and I really recommend that you have a go at the other exercises here in the Core Book Maths exercise. Okay, thanks for listening, and I'll see you later.